think first of all, my hat goes off to everybody associated with the football program at North Dakota State. You have really, truly had an incredible run over the span of the last few years. I know there were a lot of people maybe at the beginning of the season were concerned whether or not that run would continue. Actually, I said last season, and I said at the beginning of the season, I thought it would. You know, as fans, I think you're as good a fans as there are really in the country. You do a great, great, great job in terms of supporting your team and your program. Your guys are well coached. They play hard. They play the entire 60 minutes, and you know, so my hat's off to all of you for that. With regards to my team, I couldn't be prouder of my team. We've won now 3 conference championships in a row. We've been to the playoffs 3 times. We've penetrated the playoffs 3 times. We've been top 10 in the country 3 times, twice at least the last couple of times. The only thing, we talk about a mission at our place, and a mission to put a team on the field that anybody connected with Coastal will be proud of. We know winning is a very important part of that. But at the end of the day, it's about you never ever take the field. You never do anything if you don't give it your best. And that's literally what we talk about. We also have a standard. It's kind of be a man. You stand on your own 2 feet. You accept responsibility for yourself. You treat other people with dignity and respect. And you recognize you're going to live with the consequences of your actions. And certainly we're living with the consequences of our actions today that we lost this game. And this is a difficult loss. It's a painful loss. And it's a tough loss. But having said that, I couldn't be more proud of not just the guys that are up here, but the guys that are really truly part of our program. The guys that are going to be graduating, not going to be able to come back. Our captain, Quinn Backus, has been an inspiration to our team over the span of the last 3 years. You will always be part of the program, Quinn. There's also a handful of guys that fall into that category as well. They haven't had quite the same impact on our success maybe as Quinn had. But I want to give a special shout out to the guys that we have that are no longer going to be able to play. But I couldn't be prouder of my team. I couldn't be prouder of our effort. We lost today, but we lost to a very, very, very good football team. We finished the season 12-2, and again, I couldn't be prouder of our effort. And that's it, Mike.
Questions for Coach or the players? Players first, please.
For the guys, much different game than last year. What do you feel you showed today?
I feel like that we showed we can compete with anybody. Being here last year helped out, knowing where we had to be at this year to be able to compete with a team like North Dakota State. I feel like we had a good game plan in place. We came out and we executed, and we fought hard for the first 3 quarters. In the 4th quarter, we kind of slowed down a little bit, and that's when you got to be able to finish ball games in the 4th quarter. And I think that one's on me. There's some things that I should have been able to see, some things I should have been able to do in the 4th quarter, especially that last drive of the game. Some open targets that I missed. So I take that on my shoulders, and I think that one falls on me.
Alex, what do you think the NDSU defense was doing differently at the end of the game that was able to allow them to stop you guys a couple series in a row?
I don't think that they were necessarily doing anything differently. From what I saw, they were playing the same coverages that they usually play, and they were just doing a very good job of doing it. You know, they were getting in the way of our receivers. You know, they weren't letting me step up in the pocket and escape like I'm usually able to do. And they did a good job of containing me. And at the end of the game, when I had receivers open, you know, I just floated a little bit too much, let it hang a little bit too much, and just missed some key opportunities.
Quinn, just thoughts on this being your last game and coming so close to an upset today?
I can't be more proud of my team, my teammates. You know, we had a great run in the playoffs. We had a great season this year. And, you know, North Dakota State, they did a great job offensively, executing their plays. You know, they hit us on a few big plays that, you know, playing against a team like them and in a playoff game, you can't give up the big plays. But overall, there's no doubt in my mind that everybody fought hard and we left it all out there on the field. And I can live with the results. I just know everybody played hard, and I'm proud of that.
Coach, how about handling the environment as well as you did, the noise and everything?
One of the things, I think, as Alex said, the fact that we played here a year ago, you can't simulate this in practice, but because we played here a year ago, we've understood how real it was. And literally, as we began our preparation for the game on Sunday, and Sunday we started to talk about how does the brain actually work, where it's not a matter of just being tough. This is a matter of understanding how the brain works. And the typical human brain is capable of doing an incredible amount of things, and we tend to use about 30-35% of that. And the ability to focus is not something that we are able to. We have as a mankind that we haven't been able to maximize the potential thereof. So for us, it wasn't a matter of hanging in there for 3 hours. It was a matter from 3 to 5. You'd have 3 to 5 minute slots where you needed to be absolutely focused, and you would know that if you were hearing the noise, and the noise became a distraction. So if you were really focused, the noise becomes background, and that was what we talked about all week long. And I think each individual needed to kind of take care of himself, but I think our guys did do a good job of being able to communicate, and I don't think it's certainly a factor, but I think our guys were able to handle it.
D'Angelo, talk about when you guys got to 14 and 3 early, being able to respond and kind of, stop the momentum and go in their direction. How were you guys able to do that?
Well, the one thing that offensive coordinator Coach Patton installed in the offense is that we're going to be mentally and physically tough and everybody to play. So going down early, we knew that we're going to have to buckle down and be mentally strong and fight through adversity. So we just buckled down and went out there and played ball.
What was the feeling when you do pull ahead there at the start of the fourth quarter and you're in your lead, and all of a sudden?
It was a good feeling, but we knew that as an offense we was gonna have to score again. Because you can't be in a tight game with a good football team like that. So we knew that we was gonna have to at least try to get some points on the board.
Alex, you guys were down 11, I think, before those 2 touchdown drives. What was your mindset in getting the team back in and eventually ahead for a little bit?
I don't think anyone on the team counted us out. We knew that we were going to get the ball, and that we needed to score, And the thing is, when you don't score in those types of situations, you let the ball game get out of hand, and then you let them jump up 3 scores. And so we knew as an offense that we needed to score. We drove down the field. We punched it in. We knew that our defense was going to make a stop. They made a stop. We got the ball back. And then we did the same thing. We drove down the field, and we punched it in again.
You and Bruce were...
When Matt went out of the game, how much did that take away from what you were able to do, moving the ball down the field?
Bruce is a phenomenal wide receiver, and he's a very young kid. He's going to continue to be great in his future. And being able to just throw the ball up to Bruce outside, it makes my life easier. But we have a bunch of other good receivers, and I feel like they stepped in and they did a good job. I feel like it was on me, just some of the placement, some of the protection, some things I could do better. He's a great football player, but we also have great guys who can fill in for him.
You guys were ready for revenge this year. Does this one kind of sting more than last year, even though there was a closer score, you put up a better fight?
It always stings. As a group, we invest that much time and that much effort into the game of football, and we do it year round, and it hurts. It hurts to lose today. It hurts for our season to be over, and it hurts for those seniors. I hurt for those seniors. Those guys, some of them aren't going to be able to play ball again. Some of those guys are going to get another opportunity, but a lot of those guys aren't going to play ever again. So it definitely does sting.
It goes solo for us. It's not a matter of revenge. We talk about we got to play one game at a time. And last year, North Dakota State handled us, and today they beat us. But if we had beaten them 50-0 a year ago, or if they had beaten us 75-0 a year ago, none of that has any impact on what happened today. So frankly, I think sometimes you live too much in the past and you talk about what happened a year ago. What happened a year ago has got nothing to do with what happened today. North Dakota State did a great job of beating us, and while Alex is doing a good job as quarterback, taking responsibility for that. Remember my initial comments. You've got to give the Bison, a real pat on the back for the job that all you did in terms of preparing for us. You did a great job of playing us, and frankly, you deserve a lot of credit for that.
Alex, did you maybe think you're going to go for it on 4th and 12 out there midfield? Any thoughts that might happen?
No, I knew that we were going to be in a situation where we had to punt the ball down and try and pin them down and get in good field position. And then our defense did a very good job of getting a stop, and that's what we needed from them. And then our special teams, you guys missed a field goal. We had the opportunity to go out there and drive down the field and punch the ball in and score and tie up the game, and we just unfortunately we didn't do that. Credit to you guys. You guys played very physical, very tough. You guys have a great team. and we wish you guys the best of luck in the future.
Coach, what was the word on Bruce, the official injury?
Something was wrong with his back. So when he was trying to stand up, his back would go into spasms, and he wasn't able to do that. I have not yet talked to the doctor, so I don't know exactly what's going on. So we'll find out a little bit more later on, and we'll certainly know a little bit more tomorrow.
Was that new, or has that happened before this season?
That's new. Remember, he had hurt his ankle
Right.
A week ago, but he was ready to go today, and he was having a great game. So I actually thought something happened to his ankle, but something happened to his back. We don't know what that was.
What were your thoughts on that overturned pass to Devin? It was a 19-yard gain there.
Well, I mean, I'm not challenging what the officials saw in the booth. I mean, what I saw the same thing that the officials on the field saw. To me, it looked like he caught it, his foot came down, and then he was out of bounds. But the people in the booth have the opportunity to have multiple angles and be able to look at it multiple times. So, and again, it's supposed to be irrefutable if you're going to overturn it. So I'm sure the guys in the booth made what they believed was the right call.
Can you just kind of speak to what Hop did today? He kind of spurred the offense a lot of times.
You know, I have had from literally from the time I have gotten here, Hop and I began here at the same time, and I have always had tremendous confidence in what his ability is, and that's never changed. And you know, there are times where he plays good, and there are times where he plays outstanding. But he always plays well, and he always wants to give it everything he's got. There's not too many guys you see better second effort on runs than what you wind up seeing out of Hop. So when Hop has a great day, you know, that doesn't surprise me. That frankly doesn't surprise us, and he still has a couple of years left.
For D'Angelo or Alex, what's the thought that's going to stick with you off this game, heading into the off season and looking ahead to next year?
You know, I think the biggest thing is we don't want to feel this way again. You know, we want to be the best team in the country, and we want to win a national championship. And so it literally starts tomorrow.
Alex, you talked about last year how Fargodome wasn't necessarily as loud as you maybe expected it to be, at least. Is that any different this year?
Oh, it was definitely louder this year because it was a closer game. You know, I feel like anytime it's a closer ball game, it's going to be louder. The fans are going to interact more. But I feel like our guys were focused and we knew what to expect. And I feel like the game plan was good. We did a good job of preparing for how loud it was going to be. And I don't think at any time today it was a real problem for us.
Coach, today's results show you that how close you are to being in the upper echelon of the FCS, or to win certainly have since that.
Well, I think win or lose today, I think there's no question that we're in the upper echelon of what goes on in the FCS. We have been top 10 team in the country pretty much the entire time over the span of the last couple of years. I think we certainly are that. I think we've certainly earned that. North Dakota State has been the #1 team in the country over the span of the last 4 years. Clearly, we didn't play well with them, with you last year. I thought we played pretty well with you this year. But whether we won today or with the game that we played, I still believe we're one of the better teams in the country. I think we've earned that.
Okay, first of all, I've got to say this. I want to thank Gene Taylor, because it was a year ago today that I went for an interview. A year ago on this date, we beat Coastal Carolina, and I went for an interview. And I know Gene doesn't say he took a chance on me, but I know he did take a chance on a guy that had not been a head coach at this level. And you know, thank you so much, Gene. I know we'll get back to him because he's a dear friend of mine. But thanks, President Bashani. Thanks, Gene, for giving me this opportunity, because stressful times for my family a year ago today. What a great win. What a great resolve by our guys. That's a really good football team. And I hope nobody thought it was going to be a 48-14 game with the quarterback, and you saw that quarterback. That quarterback's as good a quarterback as I've seen in FCS this year. Bottom line, as good a quarterback there is. Running back was better than advertised, and they've got really good skill catching the football. So proud of our defense. And we didn't play exceptionally well on defense, but give all the credit to Coastal Carolina. We did enough things in the fourth quarter to get some stops. And that's a bunch of seniors and a bunch of guys that are experienced guys that said, we're not going to let this thing slip. Offensively, I thought we were dynamite all day. I thought Coach Polasek did a phenomenal job calling plays. He probably had one series in the second half he was upset about with how it went. But other than that, you rushed for over 300 yards in a playoff game. that's a dominant performance. So I'll open up for questions.
Weird, it seemed like the game where you had to lean on your offense a little more than your defense. Was that weird to play that style of game?
No, I wasn't really surprised that we had to do that because we felt we could run the football. We did. We felt we could run the football. I knew how talented their offense was from a quarterback's perspective, and no, it didn't surprise me at all that we had to lean on them. But in the end, it was a team win because our defense got the stops when we had to have them.
Coach, what's the first thought in your head when you think about the day that John Crockett did?
I didn't see what his stats were, but he was phenomenal. I mean, and he's a special player, and he loves this stage.
I know in the last few drives, you started going 3 down linemen with 3 backers and 5 defensive backs. Was that out of necessity because the D line was gassed, or is that something you guys have been practicing?
That we did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you guys had kind of 3 down linemen defensively, and then 3 backers and 5 DBs when you did.
Oh yeah, we wanted to try to get a little bit more speed on the field because let's be honest, we couldn't sack the kid. We could not tackle him, and so we took one of the defensive tackles out, and really Carlton Littlejohn or Nick DeLuca became the 4th down lineman because he was just too good. We couldn't sack him. They did a good job. You could see they chipped to Kyle. They were always getting 2 guys on Kyle's side, and so we had to find another way to get another rusher.
Talk about Crockett's 45-yard run. You're down there in the 4th quarter and 3rd and short, and you break stop tackle, and turns out to be the game winner.
Yeah, for starters, I thought it was a great call by Coach Balasek because we'd gone the other way on that same formation before. I thought the offensive lineman did a great job, and John broke it outside it, and I don't know how many carries he had today. What did he have? Anybody tell me?
26.
He had 26 carries, and we had to sub him in and out because he was cramping a little bit out there. But when he hit that corner, nobody caught him. He's extremely fast.
Huge game from Crockett, but Carson Wentz as well. Talk about his performance today.
Yeah, Carson did a great job managing the game, doing what he had to do. There's some times that he got flushed out of the pocket and made some unbelievable throws and plays and keeping plays alive. And he put us in the right check an awful lot of times based on what their alignment was on defense. And that was a huge part of our game was we were going to run the football, but it was either going to be this run or that run based on their front. And I thought he did a great job.
You guys had Fargo down this week. We asked you all week about the wide receiver stepping up. Kerry Woods was somebody who you guys implemented a lot today. Was that always in the plan? I mean,
well,
Kerry
had to step up, and he had a great week of practice and had a lot of confidence. And he made a big catch last week late in that game against South Dakota State that gave him some confidence. No different than Trey gaining some confidence. This game is a lot about your focus and your confidence level when you're on the field. And I thought he had a great game.
Were you surprised at the physicality that Coastal Carolina brought? It seemed like a lot of your players are coming off the field limping or holding the shoulder.
It was a physical game, but I don't know what our record is now. 12-1, 13. We're 14 games into it. This is a long grind for guys that are 18 to 22 years old. So it was a physical game, but we're going to find a way to get 60 dressed for next week.
Chris, what's it like to coach in a shootout for a change?
What was the final? 37, 39, 32? In case you guys are considering that a shootout around here. I don't know. I really don't have a comment on it, Jeff. I mean, we made the plays down the stretch on both sides of the ball to get a victory, and I'll say it again, survive in advance. We could win 10-9. I wouldn't want to be around Polisek the next week. We could win 10-9, or we could win 39-32. Doesn't matter to us.
Chris, what were your thoughts when they got that one last chance? There were 2 minutes left.
Our defense was focused. They said, hey, let's go. I'm kind of glad it happened that way. I wish Adam would have made the kick. It was a long kick, but our defense gave them some confidence. I think they stopped them the last 3 drives they had. I think the last 3 drives, they had an opportunity to win it or have an opportunity to tie it the last 3 possessions, and our defense stepped up big.
Do you win this game on the road?
That's why you go 12-1 or 11-1 in league play, and you get a chance to play at home.
Going back to that field goal, was there ever a thought to punt it there instead of going for the long?
No, Adam had enough leg, and I think he just missed it a little bit wide left. No, I wanted to get up 2 scores.
2 hard stoppers in 2 weeks. You having fun with this through the first 2 weeks of the postseason, going through it?
Ask my wife. Rhonda, you having fun with this? Okay. It's playoff football, and it's a different team. It's a different year. you know how special last year's group of guys were with the wins and by how much we won by. This is a different group, and I think it's more rewarding for these guys to win the way they are winning, because it takes a lot of effort for 4 quarters, and I couldn't be prouder of these guys.
It's been a long time, Chris, since your defense gave up yards and points like you did today. What was their reaction on the sideline? Was there a need for a pep talk or to hang in there, guys?
No, just, hey, we got to come up, got to make a play. Got to make a play. That was the thing we kept talking to our guys is, hey, sooner or later, guys, we're gonna somebody's gonna step up and make a play, and that's what we had to do. And you know, I think a little bit, it goes back, and it is what is what it is now. We don't have Travis Beck, and this is a Travis Beck type game, and that's where, you know, we tried to go with nickel, but we couldn't stop the run because we weren't as big. Then we tried to go to base, but we maybe weren't as athletic against some of the routes and some of the concepts we're facing. That's something that we have to look at defensively, because 52 isn't rolling out there anymore.
Coach, what do you think of C.J. Smith on those punt returns? Is picking that up with the ball going back like that, is that a decision that he makes, or is that something you guys
No,
see?
we got to clean that up.
How about when Matt went out of the game for them? That was he's a tough guy to cover.
Oh, he's a great player. Yeah. He's a great player, and I knew he was nicked up coming in the game. You could see him kind of limping around in pregame, but he talk about a guy who goes up and make plays. And I thought Ross put it in some spots and only he could catch it too.
What was the atmosphere like from a fan noise perspective?
Oh, it was incredible. The Bison Nation showed up for back-to-back weeks, and it's so much fun for our guys to play in this environment, because you know, that last series when they were on the field, it was unbelievably loud, and thanks again to Bison Nation.
Injuries today?
We'll find out. There's some guys that went out of the game, but I don't know. I don't think there was a long-term injury.
After they did pull ahead, and then you had the 3 and out and the punt, what were you thinking at that point? It's a rare spot for you guys to be in at that point in the game.
After what? I'm sorry?
After they went ahead, and then there was the 3 and out and the punt right after
Oh,
that.
yeah. We got to make a stop. I mean, that was, sooner or later, we had to stop those guys, and we were able to finally do it 3 consecutive possessions in that 4th quarter. And, you know, maybe the speed of the game settled down for our guys, because we were able to get some pressure on him, and we were able to cover him a little bit. You know, maybe they wore down. I don't know. I mean, we finally just made some plays. Great team that we beat.
How about Kerry Woods? Career day for him today.
How many catches did he have? 4. I thought he stepped up, made some big plays, and he had a great week of practice. So and got all those reps that that usually got.
Seemed fitting that Hegel was the man to cinch it with a pick at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy for Heeks. Made a big play, and so smart. He just takes a knee and game over.